Welcome back to Procurement Doodle, where guidelines are made simple, one doodle at a time. In this video, we begin Chapter 7, the heart of the bid evaluation process. So grab your sketchbook and let's dive in, one doodle at a time. In the last video, we discussed the commercial responsiveness of the bid and the prerequisites that come before technical evaluation. Now, in this video, we're going deeper. We'll talk more about the technical responsiveness of the bids. What does that mean? Checking if the bidder's technical solution, equipment, specifications, and methodology fully meet what the tender asked for. In this video, we'll be focusing on the deviations in the bid, a very important topic for you to keep in mind, my friend. So stay with me. Let's make technical responsiveness simple, one doodle at a time. Under examination of deviations, we identify three key definitions. Deviation, a departure from the specified requirement. Reservation, limiting conditions or withholding complete acceptance. And omission, a simple failure to submit part or all of the required information or documents. These distinctions guide the evaluation of bid responsiveness. During evaluation, deviations fall into three categories. Major deviations are serious and lead to immediate rejection. Minor deviations are acceptable but may require a price adjustment for comparison purposes. And debatable deviations require case-by-case judgment to determine their impact. Understanding these categories is essential for fair evaluation. In the preliminary examination of bids, major deviations are those serious departures from the procurement documents that cannot be accepted. Bids containing major deviations are deemed non-responsive and must be rejected outright. They proceed no further in the evaluation. Major deviations are identified during both Step 1 and Step 2 of Stage 2. They include, but are not limited to, the following. The deviation affects the validity of the bid itself. The procurement document explicitly specifies it as grounds for rejection. It substantially affects the scope, quality, functionality, or performance of the required goods or works. It limits the procuring entity's rights or the bidder's obligations under the contract. The deviation cannot be monetized, meaning a financial value cannot be assigned to it for comparison purposes. The bid contains conditions. Any conditional offer is treated as a major deviation. Any bid falling into these categories is rejected immediately and excluded from further consideration. Common examples of major deviations include failure to sign the form of bid, missing or inadequate bid security, offering a shorter validity period than required, failure to meet critical technical specifications, not satisfying experience or eligibility criteria, inability to meet the delivery schedule, and submitting conditional bids, such as those with price escalation clauses. Remember these critical points. If any of the conditions we just covered are identified as a major deviation, the bid is considered non-responsive. The consequence is clear and automatic: immediate rejection from the evaluation process. Failure on any single major point means the bid goes no further. Minor deviations, by contrast, do not invalidate the bid. These bids are accepted for further evaluation, but a price adjustment is applied for fair comparison. Minor deviations have no effect on bid validity or scope, and their impact is measurable in monetary terms. Critically, they are not specified in the procurement documents as grounds for rejection. Examples of minor deviations include simple oversights like pages not initialed or an envelope not sealed. These do not affect the validity of the bid, nor do they limit the procuring entity's rights or the bidder's obligations. Such bids are accepted, with a price adjustment applied for evaluation purposes only. Finally, debatable deviations are those that cannot be immediately classified as major or minor. Examples include requests for different payment terms, non-critical changes to construction periods, or omissions of minor work items. These require a case-by-case decision, guided by factors such as the scope of procurement, the nature of the contract, and the size of the project. Stage 2, Step 2, examines substantial responsiveness to both commercial and technical requirements. Deviations found are categorized as major, minor, or debatable. Major deviations lead to rejection, minor deviations are accepted with a price adjustment for comparison. Only substantially responsive bids proceed to Stage 3. To summarize what we have done so far, Step 1 verifies bidder qualifications, bid security, and completeness. Step 2 assesses deviations from commercial and technical requirements, categorizing them as major, minor, or debatable. Failure at any point means rejection. Only substantially responsive bids move forward to Stage 3. Let's move from theory to practice. You're a member of a bid evaluation committee. A bid has landed on your desk from a company called Zenith. On the surface, it looks strong, but as you examine it closely, 3 potential issues emerge. Your job is to classify each one correctly and decide the fate of this bid. First, let's look at what the procurement document requires. The bid must remain valid for 90 days. The maximum advance payment allowed is 20%, and administratively, every page of the form of bid must be initialed by the authorized signatory. 1. Pages 15 and 16 of the bid form are not initialed. 2. Zenith offers a bid validity of only 65 days, not the required 90. 3. They request a 40% advance payment, double the permitted 20%. The additional interest cost to the procuring entity can be calculated. Here is your task. Question 1. Classify each of the 3 deviations as major, minor, or debatable, with brief reasons. Question 2. Based on your classification, what is the final determination the committee should make regarding Zenith's bid? Question 3. If the committee were allowed to treat the higher advance as a minor adjustment, how would it be handled in detailed evaluation? Welcome back. Let's go through the classification. Deviation 1. Pages not initialed. This is a minor deviation. It has no effect on validity, scope, or price. It's a simple administrative oversight with no monetary value. And critically, it is not listed as a ground for rejection. Deviation 2. A 65-day validity instead of 90. This is a major deviation. Bid validity is a fundamental commercial requirement. A shorter period directly undermines the procuring entity's ability to complete the evaluation and obtain approvals. It cannot be cured or monetized. Deviation 3. A 40% advance instead of 20. This is a debatable deviation. The procurement document doesn't automatically reject changes to payment terms. The impact can be quantified using interest rates. So depending on the contract's size and nature, the committee could treat this as a minor deviation with a price adjustment. Now for question 2, the final determination. Because the bid contains a major deviation, the shorter validity, it is deemed non-responsive. Remember the golden rule, even a single major deviation is fatal. The bid must be rejected immediately and excluded from any further evaluation. The minor and debatable issues become irrelevant at this point. Finally, question 3. Hypothetically, if the shorter validity were not an issue, the committee would accept the uninitialed pages. For the higher advance, they would calculate the additional interest cost using prevailing commercial rates and add this amount to Zenith's evaluated bid price. This adjusted price would be used purely for comparison to ensure a fair, level playing field. The key takeaway: one major deviation is enough to reject an otherwise perfect bid. Always check validity, critical specifications, and conditions first. Minor and debatable issues can be managed. Major ones cannot. Thank you for working through this scenario, and we'll see you in the next session on Stage 3. With that, we conclude our thorough discussion of Stage 2. Now we move to Stage 3, the detailed bid evaluation. At this point, the Bid Evaluation Committee has identified the substantially responsive bids. Only those qualified bids, having passed eligibility and responsiveness checks, will now proceed to the detailed cost comparison and ranking. This concludes our in-depth look at Stage 2 of the bid evaluation process, covering eligibility, responsiveness, and the critical classification of deviations. In our next video, we'll move forward to Stage 3, detailed bid evaluation, where substantially responsive bids are put through a rigorous cost comparison. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next session. Hey, if you want to never miss a future upload, hit that red subscribe button, then click the bell icon right next to it. From the pop-up, choose all notifications. That way, every time we drop a new video, you'll get an instant alert. Let's grow together. Subscribe and turn on the bell now.